Captain Dongwoo Kim stared at the star map in front of him. Red dots marked conflict zones across 3 sectors. Each dot meant the same thing: another problem for humans to solve. Another mess for humans to clean up. Another war for humans to stop. The bridge of the Harmony's edge hummed quietly around him. His crew worked at their stations preparing for another diplomatic mission. They had done this dance so many times before. Too many times. "Captain," said his communications officer, "we're getting the urgent signal from the Galactic Council again." Dongwoo nodded. Of course they were. The Vorthon Empire and the Kelix Federation were fighting again. Mining rights, they said. Always mining rights or trade routes or borders. Always something that needed human wisdom to fix. Dr. So-Young Park walked onto the bridge. She carried a datapad filled with cultural notes about both species. She had studied every alien race in the galaxy. She knew their customs, their languages, their fears. It was her job to help humans understand aliens well enough to make peace between them. "The situation is getting worse," she told Dongwoo. "Both sides are moving more ships into the disputed zone. If we don't get there soon, shooting will start." Dongwoo felt tired. He had been a starship captain for 15 years. In all that time, he had never fired his weapons in anger. The Harmonies. Edge was built for fighting, but it spent all its time talking. Humans always talked first. They always found peaceful answers. "Set course for the neutral zone," he ordered. "Maximum speed." The ship jumped to faster-than-light travel. Around them, space twisted and bent. In a few hours, they would arrive at another crisis. They would sit between 2 angry alien fleets. They would talk and negotiate and find a solution that made everyone happy enough to stop shooting. Dr. Park sat down next to him. "I've been thinking about something strange," she said quietly. "I've been looking at the data from our last 50 missions." "What kind of data?" "The conflicts we've solved, the timing, the reasons for the fights." She showed him her pad. "Look at this pattern." Dongwoo studied the numbers. Each conflict had started the same way. Small disagreements that grew bigger, minor incidents that became major crises. And in every case, both sides had escalated at exactly the right speed to make human intervention necessary. "It's like they know we'll come," Dr. Park said, "like they plan for it." The idea made Dongwoo uncomfortable. He had always believed that humans helped because they were needed, because they were the only ones who could find peaceful solutions, because they were good at bringing different species together. But what if that wasn't true? What if the aliens were creating problems just so humans would solve them? 3 hours later, they arrived at the disputed zone. 2 fleets faced each other across empty space. Vorthon ships were long and sharp like metal spears. Kelix vessels were round and heavy, like floating fortresses. Between them was a small asteroid field rich in rare metals. "This is Captain Kim of the human vessel Harmony's Edge," Dongwoo broadcast to both fleets. "We are here to help resolve this dispute peacefully." The responses came quickly. Both sides wanted to talk. Both sides claimed they were the victims. Both sides insisted the other had started the trouble. It was always the same story. For 6 hours, Dongwoo and Dr. Park worked between the 2 fleets. They listened to complaints. They reviewed mining laws. They studied old treaties. Slowly, they built a compromise that would let both sides save face while sharing the asteroid field. The Vorthon admiral agreed first. The Kelix commander followed. Crisis solved. War prevented. Another success for human diplomacy. But as the fleets prepared to leave, Dr. Park intercepted a communication between the 2 flagships. Her translation equipment picked up the words clearly. "Same as always," the Vorthon admiral said to his Kelix counterpart. "The humans clean up our mess for free." "Easiest way to get what we want," the Kelix commander replied. "Start a fight. Let them solve it. They always give us better deals than we could negotiate ourselves." Dr. Park went pale. She played the recording for Dongwoo. They listened to it 3 times to make sure they understood correctly. The aliens had been faking their conflicts. They had been using human goodwill to get better deals than they deserved. For how long? How many of their missions had been lies? Dongwoo sent an encrypted message to Admiral J. Ho Lee at Human Fleet Command. He included the recording and Dr. Park's analysis of the conflict patterns. Within hours, he received new orders. Return to Earth immediately. All diplomatic missions were being reviewed. While the Harmony's Edge traveled home, worse news arrived. Ambassador Hee Jin Choi had called an emergency session of the Galactic Council. She had discovered something that made the fake conflicts look small. The council chamber on the capital world of Centauri Prime held representatives from 200 species. Ambassador Choi stood at the human podium, her face hard with anger. "I have a question for this council," she said. "Who decided that all dangerous exploration missions should be assigned to human crews?" Silence filled the chamber. Then the Thrakari delegate spoke up. "It's a logical decision. Humans are skilled at handling unknown situations." "That's not what your private communications say," Choi replied. She activated a holographic display. Messages between council members appeared in the air, messages that had been marked as classified. The aliens had voted in secret sessions. They had decided that humans were expendable problem solvers. They had deliberately assigned the most dangerous missions to human ships because losing human crews was acceptable losses. The Zephyrian delegate tried to defend the decision. "Humans volunteer for these missions. You seem to enjoy helping others." "We helped because we thought we were partners," Choi said. Her voice was getting louder. "We thought we were friends. We thought we were building something together." "You are useful," the Kanthari representative said simply. "Your species is good at solving problems. That is your purpose in this council." The chamber erupted. Other alien delegates nodded in agreement. They spoke openly about how convenient humans were, how reliable, how willing to sacrifice themselves for galactic peace. "You see us as servants," Choi said. Her voice was quiet now, but everyone could hear the danger in it. "Willing servants," the Thrakari delegate corrected. "The best kind." Ambassador Choi closed her files. She walked toward the exit of the chamber. At the door, she turned back to address the council one final time. "This session is my last as Earth's representative," she said. "Consider our partnership terminated." She left the chamber in silence. Behind her, 200 alien species began to realize they might have made a terrible mistake. On Earth, Admiral Lee received Ambassador Choi's final report. He read it twice, then walked to his communications console. He opened a channel to every human ship, base, and colony in the galaxy. "Attention all human personnel," he said. "This is Admiral Lee with priority alpha orders. Effective immediately, all diplomatic missions are terminated. All peacekeeping operations are suspended. All aid missions are canceled. Return to human space at best possible speed." He paused, thinking about the words that would change everything. "For 150 years we have served this galaxy faithfully. We have prevented wars, saved lives, and solved problems that others could not. We have been patient. We have been kind. We have been generous." Another pause. Across the galaxy, human ships began changing course. "Today that ends. We are done being nice." Admiral J. Ho Lee stood in the command center of Luna Station, watching the biggest military operation in human history. On the massive display screen, thousands of green dots moved across the galaxy map. Each dot was a human ship returning home. "Status report," he ordered. Commander Boram Shin checked her data screens. 87% of our diplomatic teams have been recalled. Medical Corps are 73% withdrawn. Engineering units are 61% back to human space. And the aliens' response? "Mixed," Shin replied. "Some are confused, some are angry, most are celebrating." Lee nodded grimly. Of course they were celebrating. They thought they had finally gotten rid of human interference. They had no idea what they had actually done. General Taimin Kang entered the command center. His uniform was crisp, his expression serious. "Sir, the withdrawal is proceeding faster than expected. Our people want to come home." After learning the truth, I'm not surprised, Lee said. "How are our colonies in contested zones?" "Dr. Nam is coordinating the evacuations." "But sir," Kang hesitated. "Some of our people don't want to leave." They've built lives on those worlds. Tell them this isn't about running away, Lee said firmly. This is about regrouping, about deciding what kind of relationship we want with the galaxy. Dr. Young-Soo Nam arrived with reports from the colonial worlds. He looked exhausted but determined. Admiral, we've got 15 million humans living in non-human space. Moving them all will take months. Then we take months, Lee replied. But we make it clear. We're not evacuating in fear. We're consolidating our strength. On the main screen, news feeds from across the galaxy played simultaneously. Alien reporters celebrated the end of human meddling. Politicians praised the return to natural galactic order. Military leaders spoke about finally being free to handle their own problems. But beneath the celebration, cracks were already showing. Commander Shin highlighted a sector on the edge of Thrakari space. The Nexari Prime situation is getting worse, she reported. Lee studied the data. A plague had broken out on the heavily populated world. The local government had requested human medical assistance as they had done for 30 years. But this time, the human medical teams were gone. Thrakari medicine isn't advanced enough to handle it, Shin continued. Neither is Nexari science. The plague is spreading to 3 neighboring systems. What would we normally do? Lee asked, though he already knew the answer. Send the medical star with a full treatment team. We'd have the plague contained in 2 weeks. And now? Now 2 billion people might die. Lee felt the weight of the decision. For a moment he considered sending the medical ship anyway. Then he remembered Ambassador Choi's final report, the recording of aliens calling humans expendable servants. Log the request, he ordered. File it as declined. Similar reports came in throughout the day. The Kelix Federation and Vorthon Empire had resumed their fighting, but without human mediators, the conflict was spreading. Trade routes protected by human patrols were being attacked by pirates. Scientific expeditions that relied on human expertise were stranded on hostile worlds. General Kang pulled up a tactical display. Sir, I need to show you something. Our military analysis division has been running projections. The screen showed cascading failures across the galaxy. Without human intervention, old conflicts were reigniting. Without human protection, weaker species were being conquered. Without human expertise, critical infrastructure was failing. How long before total collapse? Lee asked. Conservative estimate, 6 months. More likely 3. And they don't see it coming? They think they can handle everything themselves, Kang replied. They've forgotten that we weren't just solving their problems. We were preventing much bigger problems from starting. Doctor, Nam raised another concern. Admiral, what about our long-term projects? The Stellar Engineering Program, the Galactic Communication Network, the Deep Space Monitoring Stations? These were humanity's greatest contributions to galactic civilization. Projects that took decades to build and required constant maintenance. Projects that kept the galaxy connected and safe. Shut them down, Lee ordered. All of them. Sir, the communication network alone serves 2,000 worlds. Without it, they'll learn to appreciate what we built for them. On the second day of the withdrawal, the first major incident occurred. A Zephyrian exploration fleet discovered a new species in the Outer Rim. First contact protocols required careful negotiation to prevent misunderstandings that could lead to war. For 50 years, humans had handled all first contact situations. They had developed the protocols. They had trained the diplomats. They had the experience to turn potential conflicts into peaceful relationships. The Zephyrians tried to handle the contact themselves. Within 6 hours, the new species had declared war and was mobilizing its fleet. Commander Shin brought the report to Admiral Lee. The Zephyrians are requesting immediate human assistance. They're offering to pay whatever we ask. What did we tell them? That we're not available for freelance work. Lee allowed himself a small smile. Good. Let them figure it out. By the end of the first week, the celebrations on alien worlds were becoming more muted. Reality was setting in. The Galactic Council called emergency sessions, but without human representatives, they couldn't reach consensus on anything. Decisions that humans used to facilitate now dragged on for days. More troubling news arrived from the frontier regions. The destroyer hives, an ancient enemy that appeared every few decades, had been detected in the far spiral. For the past century, human fleets had been the primary defense against these mechanical invaders. The Galactic Council sent an urgent message to Earth, requesting immediate human military assistance. Admiral Lee read the message in front of his senior staff. To the Human Admiralty, he read aloud. The destroyer hives have been detected in Sector 7G. As per established protocols, we request immediate deployment of human defense fleets. The galaxy depends on your protection. He set the message aside. Draft a response. What should it say? Commander Shin asked. It should say that we are no longer bound by established protocols. If the galaxy wants our protection, the galaxy can pay for it in advance. General Kang looked up from his tactical displays. Admiral, there's something else. Our intelligence networks are reporting unusual activity in several sectors. Some alien factions seem pleased about the current situation. Pleased how? They're moving military assets into position, taking advantage of the chaos. It's like some of them wanted this to happen. Lee wasn't surprised. In any major change, someone always tried to benefit, but this time they might have miscalculated badly. Commander Shin, what's the status of our own military assets? All human fleets are back in our space. For the first time in decades, we have our entire navy concentrated in one area. And our shipyards? Running at full capacity. Construction projects that were delayed for diplomatic missions are back on schedule. Lee walked to the window overlooking Earth. The planet looked peaceful from space, but he knew that humanity was preparing for something new. Something the galaxy had never seen before. Gentleman, lady, he said to his staff. For 150 years, we've been the galaxy's problem solvers. We've been so busy helping others that we forgot to help ourselves. He turned back to face them. That changes now. Cancel all aid programs. Recall all technical advisors. End all research sharing agreements. Sir, Dr. Nam interjected. Some of those programs help millions of people. And some of those people called us expendable servants, Lee replied coldly. They made their choice. Now they live with the consequences. The final phase of the withdrawal began. Human researchers abandoned joint projects. Human engineers stopped maintaining alien infrastructure. Human teachers closed their schools on alien worlds. For the first time in over a century, humanity turned inward. They focused on their own worlds, their own people, their own future. And in the depths of human space, in shipyards that hadn't built warships for decades, construction began on something new. Something that would remind the galaxy what humans were really capable of when they stopped being nice. Admiral Lee recorded a message that would be broadcast throughout human space. His words would mark the end of one era and the beginning of another. Citizens of Earth and all human colonies, he began. Today marks the end of our role as the galaxy's caretakers. We have been taken for granted. We have been used. We have been dismissed as expendable. He paused, letting the words sink in. But we are not expendable. We are not servants. We are not anyone's solution to their problems. Another pause. Across human space, people stopped what they were doing to listen. We are human, and it's time the galaxy remembered what that really means. 3 months after the human withdrawal, Captain Yoon-hee Lim sat in the pilot seat of her stealth ship, watching the galaxy burn. The small vessel drifted silently through the debris field that had once been the Nexhari Prime orbital station. 2 billion people had died in the plague outbreak. Another billion had died in the riots that followed. Intelligence report complete, she said into her secure communicator. The Nexhari system is lost. Government has collapsed. Survivors are fleeing to neighboring systems, spreading panic. Back on Earth, her report joined hundreds of others. The galaxy was falling apart faster than anyone had predicted. Major Kyung-ho Yoon reviewed the intelligence data in his secure briefing room. As leader of humanity's elite strike forces, he needed to understand what was happening out there. The Vorthan-Kelix War has spread to 12 systems, he told his assembled team leaders. Without human mediation, old alliance treaties are breaking down. The Spiral Coalition is fighting itself. The Thrakari Empire is splitting into 3 separate factions. One of his lieutenants raised a hand. Sir, what about the destroyer hives? Still advancing. 3 more systems have gone dark. The alien defense fleets can't coordinate without our tactical support. In her laboratory on Luna Station, Dr. Mi Sun-jung worked on projects that had been classified for decades. While humanity played peacekeeper, they had never stopped developing military technology. They had just kept it hidden. The new plasma cannon design is ready for testing, she reported to Admiral Lee. Energy output is 3 times higher than anything the aliens have seen. What about the shield technology? Adaptive barriers are operational. Enemy weapons will be useless against our ships. And the kinetic bombardment system? Dr. Jung smiled grimly. We can crack a planet from orbit in under an hour. Admiral Lee nodded. For too long, humanity had hidden its true capabilities. They had pretended to be weak peacekeepers while secretly becoming the most advanced military force in the galaxy. The aliens were about to learn the difference between human kindness and human weakness. Captain Lim's intelligence reports painted a clear picture. Alien civilizations had become completely dependent on human problem-solving. Without humans to fix their disputes, they were reverting to their natural state, chaos and conflict. The irony is perfect, she reported from deep in alien space. They complained about human interference, but human interference was the only thing keeping them civilized. The Galactic Council tried desperately to contact Earth. They sent envoys, diplomatic messages, and formal apologies. All were ignored. Humanity had made its position clear. The partnership was over. But some alien leaders refused to accept the new reality. The Canthari Assembly voted to demand that humans resume their duties. When that failed, they threatened economic sanctions. Against human colonies, Admiral Lee called it the final insult. Major Yoon received new orders. Demonstrate to the Canthari that threatening humanity was a mistake. His strike team took 1 ship, a sleek vessel that looked harmless compared to alien battleships. They approached the Canthari home system openly, making no attempt to hide. The Canthari fleet moved to intercept them. 50 heavy cruisers against 1 small human ship. The odds seemed impossible. The battle lasted exactly 4 minutes. Human weapons technology had advanced beyond alien understanding. The strike ship's plasma cannons cut through Canthari shields like paper. Its armor absorbed enemy fire without damage. Its speed made it nearly impossible to target. When the fighting ended, the entire Canthari fleet was disabled, not destroyed. Humans didn't need to kill to make their point. The alien ships drifted helplessly in space, their weapons and engines offline. Major Yoon broadcast a message to the Canthari homeworld. This is Major Yoon of the Human Strike Forces. Consider this a demonstration. Your fleet is intact, but powerless. Your ships can be repaired. Your crews will survive. He paused, letting them absorb the implications. But if you threaten human interests again, we will not be so gentle. News of the Canthari defeat spread across the galaxy in hours. The aliens realized they had been living with a sleeping giant. The peaceful humans they had dismissed as servants were actually apex predators who had chosen to be gentle. Dr. Jung's research division released more classified projects. Faster-than-light communication that made alien networks look primitive. Manufacturing technology that could build fleets in weeks instead of years. Weapon systems that could sterilize entire star systems. We've been holding back for 150 years, she explained to Admiral Lee. While they stagnated, we advanced. While they fought each other, we studied them. We know their weaknesses. We know their fears. We know exactly how to defeat them. The destroyer hives continued their advance through alien space. 17 systems had fallen before the Galactic Council made a final, desperate plea to Earth. Ambassador Hyejin Choi, now Director of Alien Affairs, received the message in her office. The same aliens who had called humans expendable were now begging for human protection. They're offering us anything we want, she told Admiral Lee. Territory, resources, political control. They're terrified. And our response? I told them we're not interested in their offers. We don't negotiate with species that see us as servants. The truth was even simpler than that. Humanity no longer needed alien approval or alien resources. They had spent decades building a self-sufficient civilization while pretending to need galactic cooperation. Captain Lim's latest intelligence report confirmed what everyone suspected. Several alien factions deliberately provoked our withdrawal, she said. They thought they could control an unleashed humanity. They believed they could manipulate us into becoming their enforcers instead of their peacekeepers. How wrong. Were they? Admiral Lee asked. Completely. They assumed human aggression would be chaotic and destructive. They didn't expect cold, calculated superiority. The galaxy's economy began collapsing as human-maintained trade routes fell apart. Alien colonies that depended on human technology started failing. Species that had relied on human medical knowledge faced pandemic diseases they couldn't cure. But humanity thrived. Their withdrawal had forced them to innovate and improve. Their colonies became more efficient. Their technology advanced faster. Their society grew stronger. We're better off without them, General Kang reported to the command staff. Our productivity is up 40%. Our research and development has tripled. Our people are happier. Because we're not constantly cleaning up alien messes, Admiral Lee replied. The final test came when the destroyer hives reached the core systems. The mechanical invaders had overwhelmed every alien defense. They were 3 systems away from the Galactic Council's capital world. The aliens sent one final message to Earth. It wasn't a request or a demand. It was pure desperation. Please, it said simply. Help us. Admiral Lee gathered his senior staff to make the decision that would define humanity's future relationship with the galaxy. Options? He asked. We could intervene, General Kang suggested. Save them from the destroyer hives. Remind them why they needed us. Or, we let the hives advance, Commander Shin said quietly. Let the aliens face extinction, then rebuild the galaxy with whoever survives. Dr. Young offered a third option. We eliminate the destroyer hives ourselves, but we do it publicly. Show the entire galaxy exactly how superior human technology has become. Admiral Lee considered all 3 choices. Each would send a different message about what humanity had become. We save them, he decided. But we do it our way, on our terms, with our rules. Major Yoon's expanded strike force launched toward the destroyer hives. They moved openly, broadcasting their approach to every system in the galaxy. This wouldn't be a secret rescue. This would be a demonstration of human supremacy. The aliens watched in amazement as human ships engaged the destroyer hives. The mechanical invaders that had seemed unstoppable were systematically destroyed by human weapons and tactics. What had taken alien fleets weeks to barely slow, humans eliminated in hours. When the last destroyer hive ship exploded, the galaxy fell silent. Captain Lim monitored alien communications from her stealth ship. The conversations were all the same: fear, awe, and the slow realization that they had awakened something they couldn't control. They understand now, she reported to Admiral Lee. They know we weren't just being nice before, we were being merciful. Admiral Lee looked out at the stars, thinking about the galaxy that humanity would inherit. The aliens had asked humans to stop being nice. They had gotten their wish. Prepare a broadcast to all alien governments, he ordered. It's time to explain the new rules. Fleet Admiral Sung-Min Oh stood before the assembled Galactic Council on Centauri Prime. The chamber that had once dismissed humans as expendable servants now trembled in the presence of a single human officer. The alien delegates sat in stunned silence, waiting to learn their fate. Oh wore the new human military uniform, black and silver with insignia that meant nothing to the aliens but everything to humanity. Behind him, holographic displays showed the wreckage of the destroyer hive fleet, eliminated by human forces in a matter of hours. Honorable delegates, Oh began, his voice carrying clearly through the chamber. 6 months ago you celebrated the end of human interference in galactic affairs. Today you will learn about human control. The Thrakari delegate tried to speak. Admiral, we are grateful for your intervention against the destroyer hives. Perhaps we can return to our previous arrangement. There is no previous arrangement. Oh, cut him off. That ended when you called us expendable servants. What exists? Now is a new reality. He activated the first holographic display. It showed a map of the galaxy with human-controlled space highlighted in blue. The blue zones had expanded dramatically since the withdrawal. These are the new human protection zones, O announced. 112 systems under direct human authority. Any ship entering these zones without permission will be destroyed. Gasps echoed through the chamber. The humans had claimed some of the galaxy's most strategic territories. Ambassador Jun-Ho Bei stepped forward. Where Ambassador Choi had been diplomatic and patient, Bei was cold and direct. His appointment as Earth's new representative sent a clear message about humanity's changed attitude. The old system is dead, Bei stated. You exploited human generosity for 150 years. You treated our sacrifices as entitlements. You saw our kindness as weakness. He gestured to the displays around the chamber. You were wrong about everything. Colonel Nara Kim entered the chamber with a squad of human soldiers. Their presence was unnecessary for security. It was for intimidation. The aliens needed to see human military power up close. Colonel Kim will explain our new military doctrine, O announced. Kim activated a tactical display showing human fleet movements. Human forces now patrol 17 sectors previously under alien control. We respond to threats with overwhelming force. We do not negotiate. We do not compromise. We eliminate problems permanently. The Zephyrian delegate found his voice. Admiral, surely we can find a peaceful solution to our differences. Humanity has always valued peace. O smiled coldly. Humanity valued peace when we thought we were dealing with friends. We learned that we were dealing with users and manipulators. Peace is no longer our priority. The display changed to show economic data. Human productivity had soared since the withdrawal. Their technology had advanced by decades and months. Their military had grown from peacekeeping forces to the galaxy's dominant power. The facts are simple, Ambassador Bei continued. Without humans to solve your problems, you collapsed into chaos. Without humans to protect you, you faced extinction. Without humans to maintain your infrastructure, your civilization failed. Colonel Kim highlighted specific examples. The Nexari plague killed 3 billion beings because you refused human medical assistance. The Vorthan-Kelix War destroyed 8 inhabited worlds because you rejected human mediation. The destroyer hives reached your core systems because you dismissed human protection. You needed us for everything, she continued, but you were too proud to admit it. Fleet Admiral O walked closer to the alien delegates. Most of them shrank back in their seats. The few who tried to maintain dignity found it difficult under his cold stare. Here are humanity's terms for galactic coexistence, he announced. First, any species that threatens human interest will face immediate retaliation. We will not warn you. We will not negotiate. We will act. The chamber fell completely silent. Second, humans will provide services to alien species, but only for payment received in advance. We are not your charity workers. We are not your free problem solvers. If you want human assistance, you will pay human prices. Ambassador Bei added, the third term, human judgment is final in all disputes involving human interests. We will not participate in your courts. We will not accept your arbitration. When humans make a decision, it is absolute. The Canthari delegate, whose fleet had been humiliated by Major Yoon's strike force, spoke carefully. What if we refuse these terms? Colonel Kim answered without hesitation. Then you will discover why the destroyer hives were afraid of our weapons. O activated another display, showing human military production. The numbers were staggering. In 6 months, humanity had built more warships than most alien species possessed in their entire fleets. We are not the same species you knew, O explained. For generations, we held back our true capabilities to maintain galactic peace. We pretended to be weak to make you feel strong. We acted humble to preserve your pride. The display showed human technological advances. Weapons that could destroy planets. Ships that could cross the galaxy in days. Manufacturing systems that could build fleets faster than aliens could count them. But you mistook our restraint for limitation. You confused our kindness with weakness. You assumed our patience was permanent. Admiral O gestured to the empty seats where human representatives had once sat. You wanted us gone, you got your wish, but you also got something else. What? The Thrakari delegate asked quietly. You got to see what we really are when we stop pretending to be your friends. Colonel Kim provided specific examples of the new human doctrine in action. When pirates attacked human merchant vessels, entire pirate fleets disappeared overnight. When alien governments demanded human technology without payment, their planets lost all access to galactic communication networks. When species threatened human colonies, their home systems found themselves surrounded by human warships. We are not cruel, Kim explained. We are simply no longer nice. There is a difference. Ambassador Bay outlined the new economic relationship. Human services are available for hire. Medical assistance, 1 million credits per day, paid in advance. Diplomatic mediation, 10 million credits per successful resolution. Military protection, 50 million credits per system per year. The prices were deliberately extreme. Most alien governments couldn't afford them, that was the point. You treated us like servants when we worked for free, Bay said. Now you can pay us like the professionals we always were. Fleet Admiral O moved to the final part of his presentation. Some of you are wondering if you can unite against us, if your combined fleets can challenge human supremacy. He activated a display showing current alien military assets. The numbers were pitiful compared to human forces. Please try, O said with genuine amusement. It will save us the trouble of demonstrating our superiority system by system. The truth was that human military doctrine had evolved beyond simple superiority. They didn't just have better weapons and ships. They had better intelligence, better tactics, and better understanding of alien psychology. Colonel Kim had studied every alien species for decades. She knew their weaknesses, their fears, their breaking points. Human strategy wasn't just about winning battles. It was about winning without fighting by making resistance seem hopeless. The galaxy has a choice, O concluded. Accept human leadership and prosper under our protection, or reject our authority and discover what happened to the destroyer hives. The Galactic Council session ended without any formal response from the alien delegates. They needed time to process the new reality, time to understand that their brief moment of independence was over. As the humans prepared to leave, the Zephyrian delegate made one final attempt at negotiation. Admiral, surely there is some middle ground, some way we can work together as equals. Fleet Admiral. O stopped at the chamber's exit. Equals? He repeated. You declared us expendable. You used our good nature for your benefit. You celebrated. When we left, he turned to face the alien. We are not equals, we are your superiors. The sooner you accept that, the easier this transition will be. Ambassador Bay added the final word. You asked us to stop being nice. Congratulations. You succeeded completely. The humans left the chamber, leaving behind 200 alien species, to contemplate their new position in the galaxy. The age of human charity was over. The age of human dominance had begun. Outside the council building, Colonel Kim received a secure communication from Earth. What are your orders, Colonel? Begin Phase 2, came the reply. It's time to show them what benevolent tyranny looks like. The galaxy would learn to live under human rule. Whether they learned willingly or by force was their choice. But they would learn. After all, they had asked for this. President Insu Ro stood on the observation deck of the orbital palace above Earth, watching the galaxy's new order take shape. 6 months had passed since humanity stopped being nice. The transformation was complete and irreversible. Below him, Earth thrived like never before. The planet's cities glowed with prosperity. The orbital stations bustled with activity. Humanity had turned inward and discovered they were stronger alone than they had ever been as galactic peacekeepers. Status report, he requested from his aide. All human protection zones are secure, came the reply. Alien compliance is at 97%. Resistance movements have been eliminated. Ro nodded. The numbers told a story of successful conquest disguised as protection. Humanity now controlled the galaxy's most valuable systems, while aliens, grateful for human mercy, managed the less important territories. Grand Admiral Heiwan Seo approached with the daily military briefing. Her fleet had become the galaxy's ultimate authority, settling disputes with precision force rather than patient diplomacy. The Thrakari trade dispute has been resolved, she reported. Both sides accepted our arbitration after we demonstrated our new orbital bombardment capability. Casualties? None. We only destroyed their moon. The message was clear enough. This was humanity's new approach to problem solving. Instead of sitting between arguing parties for weeks, they simply showed overwhelming power and let aliens decide if their disputes were worth dying for. Most weren't. Dr. Wu Jin-ha entered with reports from the Department of Interspecies Relations. His job had changed dramatically from cultural exchange to managing subject populations. The integration programs are ahead of schedule, he announced. 73 alien species have formally requested human administration of their governments. Requested, or surrendered? Ro asked with amusement. The distinction has become meaningless, Ha replied. They petition us for everything now. Trade permissions, territorial disputes, resource allocation. They've stopped trying to govern themselves. The irony was perfect. Aliens had complained about human interference, but without humans to solve their problems, they had proven incapable of basic civilization. Now they begged for human control of every aspect of their lives. Ambassador Junho Bei arrived with the weekly reports from alien territories. His job had evolved from diplomacy to colonial administration. The former Galactic Council has officially dissolved, he announced. The remaining delegates voted to transfer all authority to the Human Administrative Council. And the vote was unanimous. The few species who opposed the motion were reminded of what happened to the Canthari resistance. The Canthari had tried to organize opposition to human rule. Their entire star system had been quarantined by human forces. No ships in or out, no communications, no trade. Within 3 weeks, they had surrendered unconditionally and begged for forgiveness. Captain Dongwoo Kim, now promoted to admiral, commanded the patrol fleets that maintained order throughout human space. His ship, the Harmony's Edge, had been renamed the Final Authority. The change reflected humanity's new philosophy perfectly. Crime rates in protected systems have dropped to nearly zero, he reported to President Rowe. Alien populations have learned that challenging human authority results in swift punishment. What about the outer territories? Species there are competing to demonstrate their loyalty. They offer tribute, volunteer their best minds for human projects, and report any signs of resistance among their neighbors. This competition for human favor had become the galaxy's new political system. Aliens understood that pleasing humanity meant prosperity and protection. Displeasing humanity meant isolation, or worse. Dr. Mi Sun-jung's research division had shifted from developing weapons to managing the galaxy's technological advancement. Under human control, scientific progress had accelerated beyond anything seen before. We've established research stations in 47 systems, she reported. Alien scientists compete for the privilege of working under human supervision. They're more productive now than they ever were independently. The truth was that aliens had always been capable of greater achievement. They had simply lacked the motivation and organization that human leadership provided. Fear was an excellent teacher. Colonel Nara Kim's security forces maintained order through a combination of overwhelming strength and calculated mercy. Resistance was crushed immediately, but cooperation was rewarded generously. The underground movements have been eliminated, she reported. Our intelligence networks now include willing collaborators from every major species. They report potential problems before they become actual problems. Aliens had learned that fighting humans was hopeless, but serving humans was profitable. Most chose service. President Rowe reviewed the economic data from across human space. The numbers were remarkable. Production was up 400%. Innovation had tripled. Quality of life for both humans and aliens had improved dramatically. We're more prosperous than we ever imagined possible, Dr. Ha observed. Even the aliens are better off under our rule than they were governing themselves. This was the greatest irony of all. By stopping their charitable peacekeeping, humans had created a more peaceful and prosperous galaxy than had ever existed before. Fear of human retaliation prevented conflicts. Human efficiency improved productivity. Human organization eliminated waste and corruption. The former destroyer hive territories had been converted into research and manufacturing centers. The mechanical invaders' technology, combined with human innovation, had produced advances that seemed magical to alien observers. We can terraform worlds in months instead of centuries, Dr. Jung explained to the president. We can build fleets faster than aliens can count them. We can communicate across the galaxy instantly. But the most important achievement was simpler. No one challenged human authority anymore. Grand Admiral Seo's fleets patrolled space lanes that were completely secure for the first time in galactic history. Pirates, rebels, and rogue states had all been eliminated or absorbed into the human order. The galaxy is at peace, she reported to President Rowe. Complete, total peace. Because everyone is too afraid to fight. Because everyone understands that fighting us is suicide and serving us is profitable. President Rowe walked to the great window overlooking Earth. The planet had become the undisputed capital of galactic civilization. Ships from hundreds of worlds brought tribute, requests, and applications for closer integration with human society. Ambassador Bay joined him at the window. "Do you ever miss the old days?" he asked. "When we were trying to help everyone?" Rowe considered the question seriously. "Do you miss being taken for granted? Do you miss having our sacrifices dismissed? Do you miss aliens calling us expendable?" "No," Bay admitted. "I don't miss any of that." "Then why would we miss the old days? We're more successful now than we ever were as peacekeepers." The conversation was interrupted by an urgent communication from Admiral Kim. "Mr. President, we're receiving a transmission from outside the galaxy. Unknown origin, but the technology is clearly advanced. Content. They're requesting permission to enter our space. They claim to be explorers from the Andromeda galaxy." President Rowe smiled. New aliens to meet, new challenges to face, new opportunities to demonstrate human superiority. "What are your orders?" Admiral Kim asked. "Standard First Contact Protocol," Rowe replied. "Version 2.0. The new protocol was very different from the old one. Instead of careful diplomacy and cultural exchange, humanity now began all first contact situations by demonstrating their military superiority and explaining the terms for peaceful coexistence. "They can enter our space," Rowe continued, "but they follow our rules from the moment they arrive." Dr. Ha prepared the standard briefing for new species. They'll learn the same lesson everyone else learned. Cooperation with humanity leads to prosperity. Resistance leads to destruction. There are no other options. As the alien ship from Andromeda approached the edge of human space, President Rowe reflected on how much had changed. 6 months ago, humanity had been the galaxy's servants. Now they were its masters. The aliens had asked humans to stop being nice. They had gotten exactly what they requested. "Sir," Admiral Kim reported, "the Andromedan ship has agreed to our terms without argument. They're requesting permission to establish formal diplomatic relations." "Granted," Rowe replied, "but make sure they understand our position clearly." "Which is?" President Rowe looked out at the stars, thinking about the galaxy that humanity now ruled absolutely. "We are not their friends. We are not their equals. We are their superiors. If they can accept that reality, they're welcome to join our civilization." He paused, remembering Ambassador Choi's final words to the old Galactic Council. "And if they can't accept it, they can join the destroyer hives in extinction." The galaxy had learned what happened when humans stopped being nice. The lesson had been thorough, permanent, and absolute. Now every being in known space understood a simple truth. Humanity's mercy had been a gift, not a weakness, and gifts could be withdrawn. The age of human kindness was over. The age of human dominance would last forever. After all, the aliens had asked for this. and humanity always gave people exactly what they asked for, even when they didn't really want it.